Hi everyone, in this video you're going to learn how you can calculate special points on the graph of the form y equals a times x minus d times x minus e. We know that these kind of graphs are parabolas, since when we multiply out of brackets we would get an x squared, which will give a parabola when we draw the graph. So what about special points on the graph? So first of all, have a look at the x-intercepts. You must remember that the graph of fx, which is equal to a times x minus d times x minus e, has x-intercepts d dot 0 and e dot 0 as well. How does this look like? So for instance, we have fx equals a half times x minus 3 times x plus 4. Our 3 is now our d. Our minus 4 is now our e. It is minus 4 because over here in the standard formula it says a minus. And minus became plus. So that's why the e is actually a minus 4. According to the x-intercepts, it should be 3.0 and minus 4.0 because our d was 3, a positive 3, so 3.0, and our e was a minus 4 because minus and minus became the plus, which was over there. We can also see this when we're going to draw the parabola on a piece of paper. You can see that when the y is equal to 0, so that is the x-intercept, so it intersects with the x-axis, it's 3.0 and minus 4.0. So let's have a look at more special points. We want to calculate the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and the vertex. We already knew that the x-intercepts are 3.0 and minus 4.0. That's what we just calculated. How we should calculate the y-intercept is by substituting 0 for the x. Because when we have a look at our formula again, you can see that the y-intercept, which is over here, is where our x is equal to 0. So that's why we're going to fill in 0 into our formula. So 0 minus 3 and 0 plus 4. Then you get a half times minus 3 times 4, which is equal to minus 6. But we want to know the coordinates, so we're not fully done yet. You need to write down the y-intercept is equal to 0 dot minus 6, since the x was 0 and our y value is minus 6. So please do not forget that when you want to calculate the y-intercept, your x value is always equal to 0. Alright, but how about the vertex? That's something new. So what we do know is that our x-intercept was minus 4.0 and was 3.0. What we also know is that a parabola is symmetrical, so it has an axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry goes through our vertex, so the vertex over here. That means that this point is exactly in the middle of minus 4.0 and 3.0, which is our x-vertex. A vertex is a coordinate, so we also want to know what the y-vertex is. As you can see, it's not the same as the 0 minus 6, because that was our y-intercept. Alright, let's have a look how we should calculate this. So first of all, let's have a look at the x-intercepts. Our x-intercepts were 3.0 and minus 4.0. That means that when we calculate 3 plus minus 4 divided by 2, we get minus a half. We do this because we want to know exactly the middle of our x-intercepts. That's what we just saw on the picture in the parabola. When we know the x-intercept, we can go and fill the x-intercept, x-vertex in our formula of the y-vertex. So we just take the formula that's given to us and we're going to fill in the x-vertex to calculate the y-vertex. So you get a half times minus a half minus 3 times minus a half plus 4. Please remember to first work out the bracket. So minus a half minus 3 is minus 3.5, and minus a half plus 4 is 3.5. You multiply everything together, which is minus 6 1/8. So now we know our x value of the vertex and our y value of the vertex. That means that we write down with a capital V, because we're talking about the vertex, is minus a half or minus 6 1/8. And that is how you should calculate the vertex, the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Do not forget to write down all your intermediate steps when doing your homework.